This is my dog, Dixie.
Oh, hi.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is CKTCHAOTIC. Today we will be reading The Remarried Empress, episode 46, 47, and 48. Let's get started. Alright guys, recap time. So where we last left off on the Remarried Empress, we pretty much went through the whole roller coaster of emotions. The Empress is lost a lot of her friends. They all went back home or they left, and she felt pretty much isolated. Prince Henry lost his brother, and Grand Duke Kaufman had to go back home and try to find a different place to obtain a trade route deal. And of course, she was forced to host Rashta baby shower, and the event happened and the Empress made an appearance, and Rashta was like, oh my god, welcome, like I can't believe you're here. And so when she gave that gift, Rashta was like, loved it. She's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. But she kind of like asked like, oh, the Empress, like, can you bless my baby? And of course, the Empress like, no. But then of course the Emperor was like, can you like get over yourself and bless this child? And so she's like, fine. And so what she said, and I quote, she said, may your life be like the sword I have given you, extravagant and beautiful. And so Rasha was like, oh my god, thank you so much. But she did not realize what it meant. Like, yes. So of course Duke Urgi came up and was like, oh, like what did the Empress bless your child with? And so Rasha was like saying exactly that, and he was like, actually this sword is actually an insult. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean that Empress insulted me? So pretty much the sword, when he pulled it out, I was like, oh, this sword is actually pretty useless. You can't really use this to fight in wars or battles, and you can't use it to defend yourself. Like, it's a horrible dagger and a sword. But it's beautiful. So pretty much the meaning behind the Emperor's blessing says, oh, may you live an extravagant life that holds no power and no, strength or anything like that. And Rasha's like crying. Then later, she pretty much said to the Emperor, like, well, it's okay. Like, our child will be a prince or princess. And the Emperor was like, awkward. He pretty much had to excuse himself and leave. And he was like, hey, come out here. I need to tell you something. And she was like, what do you mean? Causing a scene in front of the whole event, people at the event. And yes. So now we're at the part where he had to awkwardly explain to Rashta that her child will not have the title prince or princess. So that's the recap. Let's get started. Aren't they too close? I don't understand his behavior. Duke Urgi must have low standards if he associates with that woman. They're saying something. Oh, it's inaudible. Left. I wonder what he is up to. The Remarried Empress, episode 46. Rashta, your child cannot be a prince or a princess.
What do you mean? But it's your Majesty's child. Doesn't that mean the child becomes a prince or a princess by default?
That only applies to children of the Empress. Children of mistresses do not get the title of prince or princess.
Then what about my child?
Your child will be a high-ranking noble and will be treated as a member of the imperial family.
I think it's odd, Your Majesty. The children born to me and the children born to the Empress are equally of your bloodline. The Empress is an Empress consort and not an Empress in her own right. So then why is it that only her children get to be royalty?
Because that's the law.
The law isn't clearly not fit for purpose. Your Majesty can change it. I don't understand why our child has to have its royal title taken away by some child that may or may not come along one day.
You may not understand it, but this has been stipulated by the Great Temple, so not even I can change it on my own. Ugh, cannot even say that. So do not talk about your child being a prince or princess in front of other people.
Your Majesty. But it's Your Majesty's child.
I will love and cherish the child and even bestow immense riches and power upon him or her, and everyone will know it is my child even if he or she can't be called prince or princess. The only thing that the child won't be able to have is a legal title and succession's rights, so there is no need for you to be disappointed or feel it will miss out on anything. Do you understand? If the Empress is infertile and can't have a baby, then that's a different story.
What do you mean?
Then the Empress will adopt your baby, and that child will become a prince or a princess.
I can't believe my children will be royals even though they'll also be the Emperor's offspring. It's so unfair. This is all because I'm not the Empress?
Lady Rashta.
Don't cry, Lady Rashta. I am grateful to be loved by the Emperor even though I was born a commoner, but my baby, it will be the Emperor's child from birth. Can you imagine how upset it will feel if it isn't treated as such? Even if the Empress gives birth to a child, it will still be younger than my baby. My child will be so sad and its pride will be hurt if it sees its younger sibling will be a prince or princess while my child will be treated as being beneath them.
Don't worry too much, Lady Rashta. Her Majesty has yet to have a baby, even though it's been years since she came of age.
I got pregnant right away.
Exactly. It's now been proven that there is no issue with His Majesty, so it's likely that his issue is with Her Majesty.
So my lady's child will eventually be adopted by the Empress.
Viscount Lotatius' estate. I thought that it would simply be a case of someone having the same name. I can't believe it really is the Rashta I know. Enter. Father! Were you aware of this? What are you talking about? Rashta, the Emperor's mistress, is a Rashta we know. I thought it was Lebedi who took my invitation card for the Imperial banquet, but it was you. Then does that mean you knew? It's actually all thanks to Rashta that we were able to move to the capital. What? How? Oh, is it because of Ian? I can't tell you the exact detail. Just try your best to act like you don't know who she is. But father, you must tell her about Ian. I'm sure you've heard, but the Emperor has fallen head over heels for Rashta. That means that if he finds out about your relationship with Rashta, then it might have consequences for you too. But I'll take care of everything, so you just watch what you say. Have I made myself clear? Clack, clack, step, step. Did you have a relaxing time at home? It's nice to be back after all this time, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice and relaxing. I come over to visit when I can. What do you mean, visit? Is your home too? Well, when you put it like that. How have you been, Marquise Valhan? How is everything? I'm afraid I've had to tell him off more than ever lately. This is all because of your Majesty's brother. The glare. I'm glad you two are still close. It's good to see. Corsair is lacking in many things, but the one thing he's going for him is that he's blessed by people around him. For example, I'm a great friend and your Majesty is a great sister. Navier? Huh? Oh, snap. Okay, I don't know how Navier's brother's gonna deal with this.
Your Majesty.
The curtsy.
The curtsy. I heard that the sword you gave me was a really awful meaning behind it.
Ugh. Oh, the rage.
Huh?
I don't think the meaning is bad as long as you aren't greedy.
No, it's awful regardless of whether I am greedy or not. Plus, you mocked me in front of everyone. But I decided to turn the other cheek. I'm going to keep taking the high road no matter how much you belittle me or look down on me.
I didn't look down on you. I just told you the truth. It seems you hold yourself in very high regards. I'm the woman His Majesty loves. So if I don't hold myself in high regards, then that's an insult to His Majesty. Are you saying that you only have value while you're loved by the Emperor?
I'm going to ignore your insults no matter what you say. I don't want to fight with you for the sake of my future children.
What do you mean by that? Does she think I will harm her child or something?
His Majesty told me that it's very likely that you are infertile. So you will be an adoptive mother to the children I give birth to.
What? What the hell did you just say?
Her Majesty insulted me first.
That's enough, Corsair. Yeah, just let her shoot her mouth off and don't let her drag you into it.
My stomach. My stomach.
Oh, this. Okay, anyways.
My stomach. My stomach.
I know you're pretending to be ill. Corsair, Lady Rashta, let me go. I said let go. Listen carefully. If you run your mouth about Navier is infertile and you'll need to raise your child one more time. Corsair, I'll rip your tongue out. Is she asking me to help her? But the Imperial Doctor will be with her soon. Shall I carry her on my back? She has a lot of attendants helping her. There's really nothing I can do. The Remarried Empress, episode 47. Lady Rashta must get some rest. It is important to be very careful in the first trimester, and Lady Rashta was on the weak side even before her pregnancy. There's a chance that she might miscarry, therefore it is important that the thing like this do not happen in the future. Rashta, be careful what you say in front of Corsair. He has a fiery temper and easily become enraged. I ordered him not to approach you, but I don't know what he will do if he flies off the handle.
What? What do you mean I should be careful what I say?
I heard from other people that you said some unpleasant things to the Empress too, like calling her infertile.
No, that's not true, Your Majesty. That's really not true. The Empress said I was worthless first.
The Empress is very careful about how she perceived to other, perhaps even too careful, some might say. I don't believe she would do that.
But...
Rashta. I've been told that the Emperor's mistress isn't a permanent position. What if the Empress gets the wrong idea that I am an awful person and starts hating me? I heard she was kicked out of the palace. It was very unfortunate. The late Emperor grew tired of her very quickly. What happens if I get kicked out of the palace? Will I be kicked out with a baby with just a handful of coins to my name? No. They might take the baby from me.
I may be the only one who is kicked out. Then the Empress brother or Viscount Vlandre or Viscount Lotation might try to get revenge. The only person who can keep me and the baby safe is me.
A little psycho. She's going a little psycho.
I didn't tell the Empress that she's infertile. And even if my words were misinterpreted, I'm pregnant with your Majesty's child. So he can't just shove me like that.
Corsair shoved you? No way! This B word is lying. Oh, ho, ho. Okay.
Yes, he didn't do it very hard. But he definitely did shove me.
Huh. I received a general report of the incident from the people that were there, but they said that when they arrived, Rashta was already on the ground. If she had said that it was Empress who pushed her, I would consider it slander. But if it's him... Marquis Carl? Corsair Lilder Trovy is to become banned from entering the palace until I say otherwise. But your majesty, Lord Corsair is Her Majesty's brother and Duke Trovy's heir. That is why I'm lenient in doling out his punishment. I'm sure he expected this much when he pushed her. Lord Corsair pushed Lady Rashta. That's what Rashta claims. It appears His Majesty does not trust Lady Rashta completely, as there was also that time he told me not to get rid of the report. Damn it! Damn them to hell! I understand that it's unfair, but you should be careful for the time being. Ugh! You want me to walk on eggshells around that blasted creature? Have you heard the detail of Duchess Twania's divorce? That woman played a role in making that happen. She dredged up an old rumor about the Duchess and she maliciously fabricated it to make it worse. We shouldn't dismiss her as a mistress who climbed up the social ladder. She's quite smart. You don't need to walk on eggshells around her, but there's no need to clash with her either. It makes no sense! If I had really pushed that woman, there's no way she escaped without injuries. I saw what happened too. All you did was approach her with a scowl, although most people would already scarp her in fright if they saw that. Father and mother lectured me as soon as I came to the capital. They begged me to be on my best behavior because Navier would be the one who would get hurt if I acted impulsively. So I was careful. Ugh, but look what happened anyway. If that woman has a baby, she'll come after Navier one day. I'll need to strike first. How are you going to do that when you can't even enter the palace? I need to find her a weak spot. I may not be able to enter the palace, but my money and power can. And you can too. You're dragging me into this? Of course. I did briefly ask around here and there while you were with Her Majesty. There's a rumor going around that she was actually a slave before coming to the palace. A slave? During the New Year ceremony, someone called Viscount Lotation blabbed that she was his runaway slave. But after he had an audience with the Emperor, he changed his tune and said he mistook her. Can we not use that in some way? It's probably difficult because the Emperor even intervened to bury the rumor. Let's decide how to use that weak spot later. Tuss. Here, hire someone with this and order them to go in the palace. This is from Parme. Parme? Ooh. That's some riches right there. Those gems were being collected by thieves, so even if we get caught, it will be hard to track down the owner. Got it. Oh, and there's something else. Who is this Merlani woman? Oh. She is a 12th potential candidate to become your queen that your highness will need to meet. Your highness, meet the candidates that may become your queen. Isn't it time you gave up? I'll give up when you pick a partner. The sooner you make a decision, the better. That's true, because my sister-in-law is still in the picture. If I take too long, then it will be difficult for the new queen to change things as court the way she likes. By the way, why were you looking at the list of assets earlier? Step. I was thinking of creating a new title for a knight. A title? I'll slap an impressive name on it and give it to the most courageous and loyal knight. If I make the title look really desirable, then the capable knights will be scrambling to compete to get that title. And as one of the requirements is loyalty, it will naturally be a benefit to me. The problem is how I'm going to make it look appealing. But I'm right, aren't I? You're not the queen anymore, Lady Rashta. Huh? To be continued. Alright. You are not the Empress mother, and you are young, so if you stay in the palace, the new Empress will find it uncomfortable, because you will continue acting like the queen. Lady Merlani. I must say, she is quite spirited, your highness. Please accept my apologies, but in order to recover the power that is vested in the Queen Dowager? We need someone who is bold like her. Dowager Queen and Lady Merlani. Your Highness. We should leave. I caught the tail end of your conversation, Lady Merlani. It was indeed a practical thing to be concerned about. But this isn't a matter you need to concern yourself with. I see. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, shit. Your Highness, I really... depressed. Can't believe you. It wasn't as if I asked my sister-in-law to leave the room in that situation. I suppose it's too much to ask that you forget about Empress Navier. We do need to find a queen soon, but it's not so pressing that we need one in the next couple of days. There's the coronation to consider, as well as a lot of institution that I want to restructure. Let's start with those things first. You'll have to go to war if you want her as your queen, your highness. My hair's like just poking everywhere. It's true that a war will break out at some point. But nobody in the kingdom will welcome a queen who was brought in that way. The Remarried Empress, episode 48. I wish your majesty were my queen. McKenna keeps nagging me to hurry up and find a queen, but it's not that easy. How nice it would be if you could be the queen of the Western Kingdom. Sure. I've noticed it with Queen too, but you're also quite fascinating because you seem so human. Don't worry, I won't touch you. This side of him is completely different from Queen. There isn't much time until the coronation. I believe the Eastern Empire will also send a delegation. Could you please come as the head of the delegation? I think I can make that happen. Is it customary for a member of the imperial family to attend? After all... I'll try to arrange my schedule so I can go. Take this to him, safely to him. It's cold. Shut. What's going on? Your Majesty! There isn't long to go into the coronation. I believe the Eastern Empire will also send a delegation. Could you please come as the head of the delegation? Wait, did I just go up on accident? I did. Crap. I need to clean this up. Your Majesty, an abortion drug was mixed into the woman's meal. Are you talking about Rashta? Has this been verified? The Emperor called the doctor over just in case to examine her. It appears she had already ingested trace amounts of it in multiple times. How are Rashta and the baby doing? The drug that was used was only done minimal harm to the mother, so they said she is okay. The baby is a little weaker now, but so far the baby's also fine. Who would do such a thing? Huh. Was it someone I know? If Sovieshu thinks the same way, then who knows what he'll say to me this time. Still. Let's not feel hurt by it. Although I steeled myself, Sovieshu did not call on me. Not even once. Not even on the day I was to dine with him. Your Majesty, His Majesty, still hasn't said anything. I thought it was odd that he didn't come over to blame me in person, but it would appear that he's already been pinning the blame on me in his mind. Why does Sovieshu blame me for everything bad that happens to Rashta? Because it's the Empress' fault. Huh. Marquis Falhan is Koser's closet friend, and Koser is a troublemaker who would do anything for his sister. Marquis Falhan did buy the drug, but I doubt that Her Majesty was directly involved in this. But I'm sure she said some awful things about Rashta. Do you really think that a woman of her intellect couldn't predict what Koser would do if she said something to him? Ugh. I think I'm showing a lot of restraint for not laying down in order to drag in Koser and torture him until he gives up the truth. Your Majesty, if this is weighing on your mind, then it's not too late to let Her Majesty in. I can return later. I'm sure has already left. Did you see her leave? No, but it's the Empress we're talking about. She doesn't do anything that will hurt her pride. Then why don't you go to the Western Palace, Your Majesty? I'm too angry for that. I'm tired. Do you want to go on a walk? Huh? I thought you had left. I thought that was what you wanted. So I decided to wait for you instead. You never cease to surprise me, whether it's the recent incident involving Rashta or what you did just now. And you're the same as ever, Your Majesty. Both in terms of how you feel about Rashta and even at this very moment. I don't think you're in a position to be so haughty. Haughty? Clack. After all, I'm choosing to ignore the serious crime your brother committed. Is that why you've been ignoring me and also why you refuse to see me just now? It's because I'm trying to hold back, but I won't be able to do that if I see you. So I suppose you don't think your brother is the one behind this. Then I suggest you find out who is responsible for lacing Rash's food with the abortion drug. I'd like you to carry out a thorough investigation, and if your brother was really the one behind this, then I expect you to come to me to apologize in person. Well, damn. Alright guys, that is a wrap. In conclusion with everything we just read for the past 3 episodes, it's not a big cliffhanger. We obviously, as readers, we already know that it was not Navier's brother that did this. Rashta's getting pretty sloppy with the whole pitting and blaming people. But hey, she did successfully got Duchess Twania to her husband to divorce her and stuff. So she does have some skills under her sleeve about this, but I feel like in the long run, with what she's doing right now, will hurt her tremendously in the next few episodes or in the far future. We don't know. But it's getting interesting. It's getting pretty intense. And I really want to know if the Empress is able to really go to see Prince Henry coronation and stuff. So stay tuned. See you guys next time. Bye.